What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Punk Rock Radar. Today, we are continuing our maybe series of going through random top 50 pop punk albums. Today, Elliot has located this Rolling Stone list from 2017. So 7 years old already, this list, but it kind of makes it fun. At least we know there's not going to be any super new stuff on here. But Elliot, have you seen this? Any initial thoughts or predictions?
So no, after we did the Loudwire one, I did see that, and I just knew this existed, and so I looked it up, just checked the first couple bands, and I was like, all right, I'm already interested. I think this will make a great reaction to it. So Loudwire one's gonna be weird. I wonder if Pitchfork has one. That one's gonna be obnoxious if we do the Pitchfork
Lamb
one.
Goat.
We'll know none of the bands, and it'll be like, oh, okay, huh, like all indie rock bands. But this, we've got Hayley Williams, Billy Joe, we've got Mark Hoppus on the cover. So yeah, these are all bands that, artists that should be in a top 50 greatest pop punk album. So at least we're right there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just curious to go through this thing with you. I have no clue where this is gonna go.
There's 10 people who contributed to this too. So
Interesting.
If there's anything egregious, then there's a lot of people who have to answer for it.
I know. We'll have to figure out who picked what. I guess it's 10 people.
Yeah.
I guess they all picked 5 records. So we'll figure it out.
It doesn't explicitly say, but like we said right before we started, this is as far as I've scrolled. It says from the Buzzcocks to 5 Seconds of Summer, so I'm a little like, I don't know. But I mean, I could see Green Day, Blink, Misfits, Descendants. So we'll see. It looks like it's going to be a mixed bag, which it should be. Everybody likes different styles and subgenres of pop punk. But are you ready to get rolling on this list?
Let's get rolling into the Rolling Stones article.
All right, here we go. First release, Discount Half Fiction from 1997.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of this?
I've heard of Discount. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head if I've ever heard this specific album.
Yeah.
But
I have listened to this. It's actually not bad. But it's you know what? If you're gonna do kind of one of these like deep cut choices that like I think a lot of people talk about like Discount of being like influential to New Found Glory. I think they even list it here and stuff like that. If you're gonna do it, start it off at number 50. That's fine. You know what I mean? If you want to do like the oh, look at this kind of obscure pick that you never expected us to do. We could do 50. I'll accept 50. You know what I mean? But I don't know if this would make it to I'd have to listen to it more. I know there is a contingent of people who really like this album and like this band and consider it kind of like ahead of its time a little bit, but I'd have to give it another listen over. So
I feel kind of embarrassed, like that I don't. I could see it toured with J Church and Less Than Jake, so it's not like the bad type of obscure. It just man, I should have heard this before.
I've heard some songs off of this. It's not bad. I think you'd probably think it was decent at least.
Okay,
so it's not like we're not getting into obscure like indie pop territory where they're like, oh well, it's kind of punk. So,
but yeah, I'll take. I didn't expect it. Yeah, completely unexpected.
50, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Jesus, what?
I know. So I don't know what this is. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do you? I've never really listened to this. Have you?
I've never heard of it. Is it Reviver? Is that?
I think that's how it said. I've never listened to. I've seen the name before. I think they're kind of like it's like an all female group or something like that, like all girl punk band. I've never listened to them though. Feminist punk. Okay, right. It's like a Riot Girl band. I don't know who they are though.
Features.
I never listened.
Yeah,
to
it
this.
features members of Latterman, which I've heard of Latterman, obviously. So
they're
like probably from New York.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this band. Never.
So losing punk credentials as we scroll down.
Jeez, I'm over 2, man.
I know. If somebody in the comments likes this band or can recommend something, let us know because I've only seen the name. But I mean, maybe it should be on here. I have no clue.
I don't know either.
Here you go.
Okay, full disclosure, I've never heard a 5 Seconds of Summer song, but I also don't think I have to.
No.
This, how can I say it doesn't belong on the list? But I mean, if you're giving me 50 albums, I can't see this being here. One
This is like
Direction meets All Time Low is how this is described.
which
Nah.
sounds pretty terrible. So
Yeah.
this is like a guilty pleasure band for my girlfriend. She almost wanted to put them in her top 10 bands as like a joke, but never did. But they would never end up in my top 50 pop punk records at all. I'd probably never even listen to it. It's way too poppy. It's way too saccharine sweet. If I was gonna pick a band that did this super heavy pop style, I would prefer Water Parks. I'd prefer a Water Parks album. It's a lot more dynamic and fun. This is a lot more of just kind of, I don't know. It's a little too radio, in my opinion. But
It looks
we
like,
can.
just based on it, it looks like it would be like a Reliant K or Hawk Nelson style.
It looks Hawk Nelson a
Yeah.
lot, doesn't it? It does look like a Christian pop punk band from like 2006.
Yeah, that's a pass. But I'm 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Now this list is wild.
It's
man.
crazy, right?
Like,
So this is Joyce, man. Have you at least you've heard of Joyce?
Yeah,
Manor, correct?
I don't know if
Yeah.
I would call it pop punk though. Like, am I wrong? Like,
Some people might consider it that. I mean, there's some poppy elements to it, but to me, it's always kind of like almost like an emo punk.
yeah,
thing. Yeah, it's what's the term for it? But I mean, Heart Tattoo by Joyce Manor is definitely like a pseudo pop punk song. It's a lot more. The production though isn't as like direct and crisp and clean as you want for traditional pop punk, but I could see some stuff being possibly it. I think they do. I think they're the band who does Heart Tattoo.
yeah. It says it right here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean that song is one, but some of the other ones are, I don't think, are pop
Dude,
punk
these
songs. So
this is like totally out of my wheelhouse. All these bands.
I know.
So this is like they're all like pretty new.
I like it's 2017. We won't be getting too much newer stuff.
Yeah, I
like
did say
Joyce.
that. I was way off apparently.
You're way off. Even though I do like this record, I don't. It's not gonna make like my top 50 pop punk records. It's also a strange choice to do. I mean, we're getting into like a debate about what is pop punk just already. Like it feels like every pick is drastically different
Yeah.
from each other, which I understand. Pop punk is a subgenre of punk that has a massive subgenre underneath it as well, but I don't know. For a list of pop punk bands, still these are some strange choices.
Questionable.
Dude.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, John, we're back. John, what is this making your top 50?
I unabashedly love this album. I got it right when it came out. I saw Good Charlotte. I think they were opening for Goldfinger maybe. And I saw them in a mall once around this
Yeah,
time. So I was like, when this came out, I was like 14 or 15 years old. So I was the demographic, and I still think this is a super underrated album. Good Charlotte gets a lot of hate. And some of it, I understand. Like, there's a lot of really cringy stuff in their catalog, and I won't go there. But like, this is a great album. Young and the Hopeless, I would expect to be on here if this is here. So no issues. I love this album. The melodies that these guys wrote as like teenagers, wild. Really, really good album. What about you?
It's the little things, little things that always bring us down. Waldorf Worldwide. It's a fun record. This is just a fun album. The festival song, Waldorf Worldwide. Little Things is just a classic. I mean, Little Things is like so immature that it's like charming in its own way. It's like this perfect encapsulation, especially if I was like as in middle school, like hell yeah, Good Charlotte was hitting. Good Charlotte was hitting hard in middle school. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I think this could be possibly on mine too. I wouldn't even be mad at the first two Good Charlotte records being on anybody's top 50. pop punk records. Like I said, they definitely are like the black sheep of the big four of pop punk, that where they get a lot more hate. The only band that may get more hate than them, I don't even know if they do, is Simple Plan.
They deserve
But
it though. I think Simple Plan sucks. But I think Good Charlotte writes some good songs.
I do anything's a banger though. I'll say that. But yeah, Good Charlotte is much better than Simple Plan. So, but yeah, definitely one of the most hated pop punk bands of the era. Definitely something people would point to and say, punk is dead and stuff like that. But I like Good Charlotte as well. I think it's fun. Here we go.
I mean, like you can go first on this one to like collect my thoughts.
I'll go ahead. Yeah, I'm fine with an all record being on here. I know a lot of people, this is their favorite all record. I'm not a huge all fan, but I am in the camp with you, John, where Mass
Nerder.
Oh my gosh, Mass Nerder is one of the best ones. World on Heroin's one of the best all songs. So I'd put that before I'd put Breaking Things. But I know a lot of people think Breaking Things is the best all album. What do you think?
This is my third favorite all album. Original Me, which I think most people know from, I think it's on Punkorama, is one of my favorite all songs, which is also on this. But yeah, I guess.
Would you put it in would all show
No.
up even on the top 50? No. But Descendants would, right? Everything Sucks.
Everything Sucks. Yeah, I would imagine Everything Sucks would be on here now that this is, but like we've said it a couple times as they keep coming up. Like nobody talked about all from like 1990 through like like 2021. I never heard anybody talk about all. So they were at least ahead of the curve.
They were a comp band, dude.
In 2017,
they were always just a comp band. They were that band that was on the Punkoramas, and that you're right. Now they're getting to like a lot more people talking about all.
Musically, there's like few bands that can match what these guys can do musically. So I'm glad they're getting some credit. Like some of the credit is deserved. For me, like I'm like I don't have like a highbrow punk taste. Like I like things that I could sing along. It's simple. I can follow. This is like, there's a lot of random shit happening on all records. It sometimes takes me out of my comfort zone. But like the later stuff, Mass Nerder and Problematic is more of where I feel home. But I'm fine with this being here.
Yeah.
So we've got number 44, Distillers Sing Sing Death House.
I would say right off the bat, it's not a pop punk record, I mean, once again, we're getting into like what is punk almost with these lists where we're just like dissecting the entire genre. And I don't like to, genres obviously have a lot of like wiggle room and they can stretch and play as much as you want, and it's all opinion based. But I mean, how are we getting 5 Seconds of Summer in the same list as the Distillers? Like this record is pretty hardcore, a lot of it. I mean, I Am a Revenant and Seneca Falls. I mean, it's just raspy screaming from Brody Dale. It's a great record. I just don't know how it's made up, found its way into a pop punk record. I put it in one of the best punk records of the 2000s, if we're just doing that in a general sense. But 50 pop punk records of all time, this is a very strange choice.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't get the memo about what the list was. One of the 10 people up there didn't understand what the list was.
Yeah, like, and I like this record too, but I've always gotten shit. I think Coral Fang is the best Distillers record. Even it's really good. It's so catchy. Like, and that's way more of a pop punk record than this one too.
Definitely.
Like, this is, to me, like, this is good, but it's like it's a Hellcat record, right? It's a lot of that stuff has its own style.
It's a good Hellcat record.
Yeah,
it's a really good one.
But I mean, I'm definitely more okay with this than, at least I've heard of it and I've heard this album. Like the random stuff, like I listen to punk music all day, every day. Like if I've never heard it, I mean, I'm not to say all end all, but like some of this stuff is not even on, no pun intended, my radar. So it's just a little strange. But this is okay. I'm okay with this. You're
okay with it making the pop punk list?
It's odd. It's odd, right?
Okay.
But I mean, I'm okay with it.
I mean, I guess I'd rather listen to this than some of the other stuff. I don't think it should be on the. I think 5 Seconds of Summer makes at least more sense than the Distillers, even though I would never listen to that 5 Seconds of Summer record. But we can continue.
Yeah.
Here we
Okay.
go. So this wasn't on the Loudwire one, which I
No.
was surprised. I realized there was no Ataris on the Loudwire one. Not even So Long Astoria, which would definitely make my top
Yeah,
50
same.
pop punk records. Like top maybe even top 15, top 10. I had to think about it. But this is a great record. You know, San Dimas High School Football Rules is just a classic pop punk song. There's a lot of I Won't Spend Another Night Alone. A lot of great tracks on here. So, what do you think?
So I've been wanting to do an Atari's video, but I think they only have like 5 records, and really
You already
like
did it.
this.
You did it to your list, didn't you?
No, I never did anything on the Ataris, but I think this would be like off the top of my head, you know, no track list. I think this would be number 3. I think Astoria is like a really special album, but I like End Is Forever even better than this one.
Really? That's interesting. Huh.
I do. This is the first one I had though. I had the
Yeah.
Useless ID split, and I had this. This is 100% okay. This, of all of them so far, this probably makes the most sense as a pop punk record, because this is 99, right at the cusp of that second explosion, and this was a huge record for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't weird when I was in high school for some random kid you didn't even know listen to this style of music to have an Atari shirt, and a lot of that's because of this album. So
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, this definitely should be on a top 50. It makes sense. So,
Okay,
we're back to normal. We're in normalcy.
Yeah.
It was like we started off in a weird place. And
Yeah.
they were like, oh, we like took a wrong turn. They were like, oh no, it's actually right across the street is where the place is at. I was totally confused. It was this weird back alley we were walking through, but it did lead to the place we needed to go. I mean, this makes more sense than the Loudwire's pick of Duh.
Yeah.
Like definitely. I mean, if you're gonna put a Lagwagon, if you're gonna put a Lagwagon record on your top 50, I feel like it should be this one.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I understand it may not be everyone's favorite or even my favorite, but if we're gonna put Lagwagon in top 50 pop punk records, this one is the one that makes the most sense. It's the most iconic. It's got May 16th. But yeah, what do you think? Like, yeah, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I said it before. My taste tends to be weird. Blaze is my favorite. This is my number 2. But yeah, Duh made no sense.
Yeah.
So this needs to be here. It's going to be very small, but you could see I've got the girl right there above the Golden Boy album. Definitely no problem. Well, I mean, this is a great album. Lagwagon should be on every top pop punk list. Just has to be.
Yeah. I'm just curious now who's going to have the better list, because right now it's like Rolling Stone is making a few better decisions than Loudwire, but I still feel like Loudwire is ahead right now just because of those bizarre choices Rolling Stone made in the beginning.
At least they're in the, like, honestly, if the top like 45 is all good, I can be. It's like they started their list in like permanent marker, and someone's like, "Come on, guys, pop punk." You know, that's the kind of that's what happened.
They're like, "Ah, fuck, Joyce Manor and the Distillers are already here, so let's just keep going." All right, this should be here. This is a fucking banger of a record. I know you're kind of back and forth on whether you'd even put the Wonder Years in your top 50 pop punk records. Me, I'm personally, there's no doubt in my mind the Wonder Years wouldn't make it. I think they're one of the best pop punk bands to come out in, like, I don't know, the past like 15 years at least. So yeah, I think this is an amazing record, from like the starting track there, and then you got Teenage Parents, Looking Through a Screen Door, or I forget what the song is called, but great. It's front to back bangers. It's an excellent record.
There's a really good song on this album, and I can't remember what it's called, but
I think it's like Dismantling Summer.
Yes,
is that
Dismantling Summer is one of my.
I was like, I love in
that
my
song.
mind. That's the John song.
Yes,
I'm like, that's the one John would like.
that's the Came Out Swinging from this album.
Yeah.
So I would probably go Suburbia if I'm doing a One Year's album, but I really like this record too. Not in my top 50. I will say this is not in my top 50, but sure, put it here. Absolutely no issues.
Yeah, no issues with it being here at all. So.
Okay. The Souls are on both. I think the other one
on both. Yeah, the other one had a better record.
Yes.
so I don't know if I put Hopeless Romantic in mine, but I have no problem with it being here at all.
Hmm.
So I feel like for the Souls, it would mostly just be How I Spent Your Summer
Yeah.
Vacation that would make it. I'm not sure if anything else would make it. Not that Hopeless Romantic is bad, not that the self-titled is bad. I think they're all great records. It's just, by virtue of so many records going on. But I have no problem with Hopeless Romantic making it. It's a good. Is this the one that has? Is it New Day, or is that the other
No,
one?
that's Acres Away.
That's Anchors Away. Which one does this have also that I really like? It was on a Punkorama. I can't remember. But Hopeless Romantic, the song is really
Yeah,
good.
this has Olay, I think, on it. That's
Ole,
the
it does have Ole as well, the classic.
yeah.
I actually didn't know what that was from for the longest time. It just punk shows would always end with everyone going Ole 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 as everyone walked out the venue and stuff like that. You remember that?
Yes,
When people would do that?
dude,
Yeah.
we're both. I don't. Is Maryland Northeast? We've talked about it, but I mean, if you're in the Northeast, you've seen the Bouncing Souls 10,000
Yes.
times. So,
Yeah.
see, I think this is my not my first favorite, not my second favorite, not my third favorite Bouncing Souls record, but I think if you were going to put something on there, it's either this or Summer.
Yeah.
I think it should be Summer, but this is before people won't admit this, but before Hopeless Romantic, the Bouncing Souls were a pretty mediocre band. Like especially the first few, like
I like the one with Kate is great on it.
the self-titled, yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean,
like
it's
it. But
not. It's
before
definitely
that,
not
I know some
exceptional.
people think Maniacal Laughter is
No.
like their first good one. I don't think it's good either. I don't think the first two are very good.
Yeah, this is the turning point for sure.
Uh,
But yeah,
so-
it's good.
yeah,
So I'll take us here. The last list I think had Boogada Boogada, right? So
yes, it did.
this is a way better pop punk pick than Boogada,
100%.
right? This is kind of depending on who you ask, and I think maybe 8 out of 10 people you ask about Screeching Weasel, the favorite album was going to be this one. It's not my favorite. I'm kind of a weirdo, and I like
First World Manifesto.
I like First World. I even like I can't remember some freaks of atavism.
Is it the anthem for what's that one called?
Anthem for New Tomorrow. Yeah,
Anthem
this
for New Tomorrow.
this is a good record though, and for the this is one. Again, if you're saying top 50 and you're not taking in like personal top 50, then I think this
Yeah.
should be here. Like this is kind
Definitely.
this is the advent of Ramones core. This is like this is the blueprint for Ramones core. Like strangely enough, I don't know.
Yeah, I
if-
mean you wouldn't have Blink without the Descendants and Screeching Weasel.
yeah.
So
this is good for me. What do you think?
yeah, I have nothing more to say. I think I already said last time they had Boogada Boogada, and I was like, they should have My Brain Hurts over this,
Yeah.
but it's fine to have it. So this is perfectly fine being here. It's a great record.
There we go,
yes.
man.
Yeah, this was way. I think this was higher up on the other. This should be
Yeah.
higher up, honestly. I mean, this is just. Yeah, we talked about this one last time, but this is like a near perfect pop punk record. It should be higher up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This
So-
it may surprise some people, but this would be on my list. I think this is an amazing album.
Yes.
So yeah, this is good. 38, I think is fair. It's just a
Yeah.
lot of this stuff from 2000 to 2003 because it was so accessible and so many. It was on major labels. It was on MTV. So a lot of these get like some of that nostalgia love. There's a handful that I'm good with being on the list. This is one of them. So
Yes.
we're going back to 79, man.
Okay. I'll be real. I've never listened to this. I don't know what this is. Have you ever heard the Undertones?
I mean, I know the band name, and this is bad for us, dude. Someone in the comments is gonna be like, how do you have a
Who
punk rock
is the
channel and not know
Undertones?
the Undertones?
Oh, I have heard Teenage Kicks.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've heard a
this
cover of
was-
this for sure. Oh yeah,
Okay,
covered
I've
by
heard
Green.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. I've heard Teenage Kicks. This was back in my like 1970s punk phase. Not really phase. It was more like I bought this book that had a huge list of 1970s punks, and so I would always punk bands. So I'd always listen to random songs. This was definitely one of those. But I mean, sure. I don't know. This wouldn't even make mine. The 70s is like a weird even spot to even consider something pop punk. You know,
Yeah.
it's it wasn't truly defined yet. So I know some people want to call like the Buzzcocks and this band like pop punk, and to me, I don't know. I feel like they're just in the Ramones pop punk. I almost wouldn't even consider them for the list. I feel like it's just another era. I feel like pop punk really doesn't start kicking off until uh the late 80s, mid 90s is when we start getting peaks of what I consider like true subgenre pop punk. But
Hmm.
I don't know, what do you think?
I honestly, I don't know enough to say, but I'm cool with this being here. Like, if we're gonna have
Yeah.
multiple albums from the early 2000s, then if this inspired something along the road, whatever. I mean, I never heard it, so I can't elaborate, but I'm good with what you said.
Sure,
I think
sure.
this was on
Okay,
both
this
lists, right?
yeah, this was on
Yeah,
both lists too. We're getting yeah, so the crossover I think is Yellow Card and Saves the Day. I think everything else has like almost been like a different
yeah,
record. It's like same band, different record. Even the Wonder Years was had a different record as
yeah.
well. They had Suburbia. So this was I think this is the first true matchup other than Yellow Card. But yeah, this should be on a list. This is a great record.
Mhm.
So I think we talked about this last time
Yeah,
as
we
well,
did.
and you talked about Lifetime and
Mhm.
the first record before this one you like a lot as well.
Yeah, if I
Uh,
mean, if this is the one, if you're gonna
yeah,
put a
this is the
saves
one
the
though.
like some people like
Yeah.
the one with At Your Funeral. It's escaping me. I like
Oh
Can't
yeah,
Slow
what's it
Down in
called?
this one too, so I'm good with this.
Yeah, this should be here. This is a great record.
Unknown Road,
Okay.
pop punk album.
This is the same guy who got the Distillers on here.
Yeah.
Also, was somehow able to get Pennywise on Rose, Unknown Road on here. I feel like it was 10 different people. They picked, they all picked their 5 favorite pop punk bands, but one guy missed the memo and he just heard punk bands.
Yeah,
So
he's
he
too
put,
hard. He's too hard for
he's
this.
too hard. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he thinks he might think this is pop punk. This might be a Peter fucking Pan
Yeah.
situation where, yeah, it's like, well, this is what they sold out and became pop punk after the original one. I'm just kidding. I don't want to put words in Peter fucking Pan's mouth. He doesn't really think that. So, but yeah, this is not a pop punk record at
Yeah,
all, dude.
no.
It's not on the list. The Stillers shouldn't have been on the list. This is on the list. This is a weird decision here. I mean, if you're just like anything that's not 80s hardcore is pop punk, then yeah, but whatever. It wouldn't make my list. I feel like it wouldn't make the
No.
vast majority of people's list. That's not like a weird, like stuck up music website that doesn't communicate well enough to create a truly cohesive list.
Yeah,
10
that
writers.
so just in case people are misconstruing, Pennywise is a top 5 band for me. I love
Yeah.
Pennywise. But like no, it's not pop punk. Like I'm not a I guess I am kind of somebody who classifies things, but like this is not close to pop punk. Let's be real, guys. We'll move on
Yeah.
though. Okay,
Yes.
I think this was on both lists also, right?
No, Ergs
No?
didn't make it.
Okay.
No, Ergs wasn't on it. But the Ergs, this would make mine. I think this is an awesome fucking record. This is like one of my top 20 punk records, I think, or 25 at least. I love this record. I think it's a fucking blast. Extra Medium is like one of my like favorite songs. This is like one of the I think it's an amazing record. So, um what do you think of the Ergs? What do you think of Dork Rock Cork Rod? It was surprising that I like them so much. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I'm surprised this was '04.
yeah,
I thought it
oh
was
four.
newer.
Mm-mm.
I like this record. I definitely had it. I haven't listened to it in a very, very long time, and I'm a little surprised it's here. But I mean, I think the Ergs are. I don't think I ever saw them live either, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Huh.
and just if you're watching this and you like the Ergs, go check out Scrap Plans featuring Mikey Erg. I've got it in the web store, linked down below. Obviously, no issue with this Jersey band. True,
Yeah.
this is a true pop punk album. So,
I think so.
all
Okay,
right,
interesting.
your
So we
boys.
got my homies right here. This was like I don't know. I think it was the next one that had "Welcome to My Life," but I remember that was like the first Simple Plan song I heard, and I was like in 6th grade, and that hit, dude. That hit hard. Being 6th grade, listening to "Welcome to My Life," that was where it was at. I mean, this wouldn't make my top 50. I don't really have too much against it. It is like I think it's a fine, fun little pop punk record. Especially this is much better than anything else they've done. It had "I Do Anything for You," which is has a great hook, great chorus. You know, So they did the Scooby Doo theme song,
Yeah.
so we got to give them a little credit here. But what are your thoughts on Simple Plan? No pads, no helmet, just balls. Corporate pop punk. So industry plant pop punk. What do you think of
No, I don't think industry plan. They were in a reset before, which is
it?
pretty rad.
I know.
There's
I
a
know.
couple. I mean, I'm gonna be real. There's a couple songs like "I'm Just a Kid." The ones here, I do anything. I think
Yeah.
"Perfect's" kind of whack. You know,
Yeah, Perfect's pretty dated.
I don't know until the day I die.
Grow Up's a good song. Yeah,
There's one
Grow
more.
Up's a fun one.
"Addicted" is another one that's pretty catchy.
I'm a dick. I'm addicted to you.
And then
Heartbreaker.
the other song that does that is the lit song "Miserable." You make me come, you make me complete. I always like that one too.
Oh.
This is okay. I mean, top 50, no. I mean,
No.
this is the thing. Like, if you're doing top 50 early 2000s pop punk records, then maybe, right? But of
Yeah.
all time, I don't think so. Dude, wow.
I mean, we had Pennywise
wow.
on there. Yeah.
I did not expect that.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, Lifetime. I mean, I guess we can't expect anything at this point. We had like
No.
Joyce Manor, Pennywise, 5 Seconds of Summer, and now we have Lifetime's Jersey's Best Dancers, which I don't know if I consider pop punk, but
We can expect New Jersey bands, dude. That's what I'm telling you. All these
Yeah,
lists
man,
are very
definitely.
heavy New Jersey.
they happen to. I mean, maybe the best bands are just from Jersey, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ever think about that?
This should be. This is the thing, man. If Saves the Day is on here, this should be on here because Saves the
I don't have
Day
a
is
problem
just.
with it,
They're just copying Lifetime's homework. All their good records.
Yeah.
This album is so freaking good, and nobody really
It's great.
talks about it. So, yes, Lifetime should be on the list. Lifetime created this style, so heck yeah, Lifetime. I mean, Lifetime influenced so many pop punk bands, so many like even like easycore, melodic hardcore. They're like the pioneers of this style here. So yes, put them here.
Lifetime is another one of those sleeper influences no one
Yes.
talks about, but they were huge. So maybe Discount's the same way, but this is also their best record in my opinion. So this is a good one
pick.
to have on here. Yeah.
Tsunami,
What is this?
Tsunami
Okay.
Bomb, the ultimate escape.
I haven't heard this band's name in a while. That's crazy. I haven't listened to Tsunami Bomb in a minute. It's a female fronted band, right? The
Yes.
female vocalist. Yes. Okay. It's been a while. I can't say it's been too long since I've even listened to this band to say if they should be on here. It seems like a bit of an obscure pick. It seems like it probably wouldn't make my top 50, but I don't know. Do you have anything to say on Tsunami Bomb?
I never got super into them. I saw them like on like a side stage at Warped Tour once, and I ended
Yeah.
up liking it. And I bought a CD. Strangely enough, it wasn't this one. I don't remember what it was. I think it had a black cover, but
Let me look up them so I can get an idea what the rest of their records look like. But go ahead. Sorry.
definitely not one of my favorite bands. But I remember people really like them. I mean, I don't have any major issue with it. Maybe 31's a bit high, but
Yeah.
it's almost it's all
Yeah,
right.
they don't have a lot going on. They made like two early 2000s records, and they had a break for quite a long time until 2016.
I think they may
So-
be doing shows again. I don't quote me on
Okay.
that, but I think they may be back.
All right. Yeah.
What?
This is the same guy who picked the Pennywise. I'm not sure what's going on with this list. Maybe this is the same person who picked Lifetime. I feel like we have 5 different genres
Yeah.
being listed out here. We're going back and forth. We have like the Joyce Mander, the Wonder Years. We've got like Pennywise and the Distillers, and we have like Lifetime and AFI all going on at the same time. I mean, this is an incredible record.
This is my
Like,
favorite AFI record.
Yeah, this is my favorite AFI record too. I've listened to this thing front to back so many times. Insanely good record. Not a pop punk record. Wouldn't even. It's like this would not even come into my mind at all. Like when I'm thinking of pop punk. I mean, this is even less pop punk than the Distillers. I
Yeah,
feel like
this is
way
wild
too.
pick.
Yeah.
They could have just picked "Sing the Sorrow." I would have let "Sing the Sorrow" slide, even though it's
I
close.
wouldn't, but it would be closer.
It's
I
way
would
closer.
like maybe December Underground at the most. And I'd be like, I guess.
This is a crazy pick. I mean, I love this album, but come on.
Here
All
you
right.
go, man. We got our first instance of Green Day, and it's Kerplunk. What a strange pick. I mean, some people, this is their favorite Green Day record,
Yeah.
dude. Everyone has a favorite Green Day record. A lot of people think this is the most underrated Green Day record.
Hmm.
I think it's not bad. I think I like 39 Smooth a little more, maybe, but it's I could go either way on it. I mean, it's fine to be here. I have no problem with it being here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I'm old. This was the second Green Day album I had. I think it came out in '92, actually. But that's for another day. I don't. I probably am okay with this. It's like I would go Dookie, Insomniac, Nimrod, Kerplunk. So it'd be number 4. So,
Okay.
but I mean, this is, dude, if you look at Lookout records, people go wild for Lookout. I would say like 60% of that stuff is not good. And like this would be, I'm not going to speak their name, but this would be my favorite album on Lookout. And yes, I'm including that album. So yeah, I don't have an issue with it being here. This is like in 1991, this was the best, or 1992. I'm like at least 70% sure it's 92.
No, I think it's technically. No, I think you're right. I think it is 92. Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But in 1992, this was the best pop punk record. So based on that, I mean, how could you not include it? So
Sure, no problem with it. No problem with it.
Machine Gun
All right,
Etiquette.
once again, we're in this. I don't even know if this is like. I mean, the Buzzcocks make a little bit more sense
my
than,
God.
and the Ramones make a little bit more sense. This is the same guy who picked the Undertones. Like I said, we got 10 different people's list all competing here, and so somebody is like, I'm gonna pick 1970s records. Somebody's like, I'm gonna pick early 2000s records. Somebody's like, I'm just gonna pick random punk records that I like from the 90s and 2000s. So this is this guy's list, continuation of his list, and I think it's a great record. I like the Damned for a 70s punk band. I don't know how big of a Damned fan you are, but one of the best songs from the 80s, if you never heard it, it's called Streets of Dreams by the Damned. It was like released in 1985. Wild song. It's like so cool. It has like a like a jazzy trombone solo and trumpets and stuff like that. It's actually a really cool song. And not really a punk song, but it's a cool song. But I don't know if you want to put this here, I guess. Like this list is already like bizarre as it is.
So
I wouldn't put it here. I don't think it's pop punk. I
No.
think 70s punk is its own thing.
well,
So
here's where I'm at, Elliot. And this is, initially I'm like, what the hell? Like, but I like very little of this time period of punk.
yeah,
And like to me, this is like one of the more listenable albums of this era. So like maybe like if it's like 1982 and like think of like the landscape of punk, it was very abrasive, and this is got some like melody and some maybe in 19. I mean, if I could use the same logic as Kerplunk, maybe in 1982 this was like the best pop punk at the time album. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's odd, but I'm thinking like this is the guy
for
like
my list, I wouldn't do it. In this list
No.
already is complete incomprehensible nonsense with how far we're going to the stretch. We're just listing punk records at this point. We're just listing different genres of punk rock.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, we're not, if like the Adolescents showed up next, I wouldn't even be shocked. If like, you know,
Yeah.
so
But we got Dan, dude, we're at 40 minutes and we're not even halfway.
yeah, let's keep rolling.
Okay. This was a repeat.
Yes.
Life in General should be here.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, Life in General made it last time. This is another repeat. It should be here. We've said enough about it. It's a great record. We can move on to the next one. So I think the ones we talked about last time will
Yeah, we
stay.
can skip.
Okay. All right. We're here again. We're in this situation again. I don't know. I've never really listened to the Jam. I've heard of them. I've seen them in books. I've seen
Yeah. They're a book. They're an
people-
MC5 book band.
yeah, they're a book band. They're like one of the ones where people like make their like top 100 greatest punk records of all time, and the Jam Snapped is like number 11. So, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I know too much about them.
No, me neither.
If the Damned are here, the Jam can be here too. Yes, this should be here.
Dude, I don't know if I'm like remembering incorrect. Yeah, maybe this is 2001. Okay. I was thinking 2000, but
I can't remember, but yeah, this should be here. This was also on the other list.
Yeah.
I mean, great record. This might even be in my top 10. This is like an insanely amazing record.
This is
So
this is my favorite Jimmy Eat World album, but I only like 2 of them, so I don't know how much that's saying.
what's the other one? The one with Pain.
Futures,
and,
yeah, Futures is really
yeah.
good.
I like the '90s stuff too. So somebody said they don't know if we've ever talked about Jimmy Eat World on here. So I think it was Downward is Heavenward. So
Yeah.
here we are. We're talking about Jimmy Eat World now. Clarity and Static Prevails, I think, are insane records as well. But this is good. This should be here. So, okay. We're back in 1979 again. I really don't have too much to say about the 1979 stuff.
Yeah, neither one of us
just
are
don't
born.
think it's I mean, like, if we're making some comprehensive list, you're trying to like do like the history of pop punk or something, I guess. But I don't consider this pop punk. I think the 70s stuff is its own thing. I've said it multiple times. Stiff Little Fingers is a fine band, I guess. I don't ever listen to them anymore, but they're a book band as well, in my opinion. Sorry, guys.
I think this is pretty. This is probably the closest to pop punk from the 70s.
Definitely.
I mean, that's okay. It's fine. I don't really like it. I'm not too familiar. Is this a repeat, or we had this conversation?
This is also a repeat. This
Okay.
is also a repeat. So yeah, this is fine to be here. Honestly, it's hard for me to structure my thoughts because every time we scroll down, we're like entering another like era, we're entering another decade and another genre. This one's weird. Like I feel like this one's a kind of a fever dream of a list a little bit. Like, it doesn't feel real.
It's 10 different people's lists.
It's 10 different people's lists.
We
keep going. I feel a little crazy here. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I have no idea what this is.
1978.
I have no idea what this is, dude.
I've heard of the band. I've never listened to. I mean, there's a lot of these. I mean, there's like 70s punk bands I've listened to. Like I listened to the Buzzcocks, the Damned, Sham 69, stuff like that. But this one I've never really listened to.
No.
Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers, the New York Dolls. I mean, where are those bands? Who the hell are the? I mean, they're probably like they're once again. This is like a. When you see like a top 100 punk records of all time, you see nothing but albums like this. This is like it is a book band. This is a book band where you pick up the history of punk rock, and it only goes up to 1983.
Yeah.
That's what this band.
I mean, I want to move us on, but like based on the description, high octane goofballs mix surf rock, garage, glam, rockabilly, and new wave. Feels like the B-52s if they listen to more Cramps than Chic. Like it sounds pretty interesting. Like I might check this out, but I like the logo. The album cover seems like maybe Legos in a blender, right?
First reaction. We got to do some first listens to some of these 70s punk bands.
We should.
That might be interesting.
That's a good idea.
So,
the ones we haven't really listened to.
Okay, but what is going on here, dude? What is even how is this even close? Like this is not a pop punk record. Did it even come out in 1991? Or I guess
maybe the
this
collection.
is a compilation.
Yeah.
A collection, so I don't know. They don't even have that right, if you're counting it. But it's not a pop punk record. It's an amazing record. It's like one of the best punk records ever made. Like it's one of the most influential punk records ever made. It's not a pop punk record.
I can hear some elements of pop punk, like on sound system and stuff. It's a little like pop punky, but yeah,
I mean it's at the basis, but at the same time, this is when like. Who else was like coming? Like the Descendants made like All, which is way more of like a definitive pop punk record and stuff like that.
It's
like
weird.
2 years before.
That's why did they call this pop punk out? This would have been fine for a top punk album.
I mean, I was thinking back, like, did I misread it or something? But I was like, no, they had Haley Williams, Mark Hoppus, and Green Day. Has there been a Blink record yet?
No.
I think there hasn't. No, there hasn't even that Paramore record. Okay, no. I mean, they got the right all-time low record at least, but number 20. Like all-time low is better than Operation Ivy's Energy, dude.
That's a great way to frame this, actually.
Yeah, that's all-time low is a better pop punk record than Operation Ivy's Energy.
Dude, here's listen to this. It's like, dude, Operation Ivy's Energy was the best album until All Time Low came around.
Until All Time Low is so wrong, it's right. Until Dear Maria, Count Me In hit the radio waves. It really just kind of blew away.
Changed everything when this album came out.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Get the hell out of here.
This is weird.
Yeah.
Okay, we're two good Charlotte records on
Yeah.
this one.
This one, dude, if you're gonna put the self-titled, this one is, I mean, you have to. We knew that. We knew this was coming. Just like we know there's more Green Day coming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have no problem with this being here. It's just I can't even. This list is like I can't think about it too much, dude. I feel like it's me trying to rationalize it and try to even say, does this belong here? Does this not belong here? Doesn't make any sense anymore. So, but yes, this would be on mine. I love this record. So
yeah, I agree. It's fine. I mean, it's no unknown road, but it's here, right?
It's no unknown road. Bad Religion, Stranger Than Fiction, our first Bad Religion. I like this one. I know this one's like you either hate it or love it type record. Where some people think it's like one of their worst ones. They think it's overrated. They think it's boring, and some people think it's like one of their best things they've made. I'm a little in the middle. I think it's a great record. I think Tiny Voice is one of my favorite Bad Religion songs. So I even like Television. I don't get the hate for that song. I think
Television
it's fine.
Sucks, man.
I know a lot of people hate it. I think it's fine.
This is definitely not my favorite Bad Religion album, but if you're doing pop punk Bad Religion, this
makes more sense than I'd say a lot of stuff that's been on here so far.
Yeah, I would go the Gray Race. I think the Gray Race is better than this, and it's got some. But this is like the most up until like maybe the Process of Belief. Actually, it would be like one of those three in terms of a pop punk album. But I'm fine with this.
Would you put Bad Religion on a pop punk list if you were going to?
I don't know, man. Like
I don't know
the thing is that so many pop punk bands say like they don't exist without Suffer.
Yeah.
Which Suffer is not really that's what's confusing about this list. It's not.
I mean, honestly, most '90s punk in general would be totally, it'd take a while to catch up without Suffer.
Yeah,
so
that's.
Suffer just,
but this isn't influential albums. They don't mention anything about that. This is just top 50 pop punk albums in black and white. And I mean, this cover's in black and white, but like that's how I don't know.
I wouldn't put it here. Also, it's like I don't know. It's ahead of a lot of. I mean, I guess it's Bad Religion. So if we are considering the pop punk, I guess it's fine that they're high up on the list. But weird choices. I mean, not the weirdest. This is actually like a relatively sane choice in comparison. So I guess let's continue. I mean, I guess it's like the most commercially viable Rancid record. Is it a pop punk record? It has some poppy elements to it. But once again, I never think of this as a pop punk record. I always think of it maybe like a pop street punk record. It's like a street pop punk record or something like that. It has I'm not really sure. I would never consider it for my list. I'll say that. And once again, I feel like we're just getting into a list of like very important punk records.
I mean, there's definitely like Journey to the End is a pop punk song. Olympia is a pop punk song.
Olympia is a pop punk song,
Even Ruby Soho is pretty much a pop punk song, but then like nobody's calling like Maxwell Murder.
Yeah, As Wicked, maybe As Wicked a little bit, but then you have like a lot of the ska songs on here too, which I mean, not since you can't have those as well, but I don't know. I wouldn't put it in mine. In comparison to everything else is on here, I'm fine with its positioning on the list, but
I think I'm more okay with this than the others. This is pretty poppy and accessible, so I get it. I think it's fine. American Idiot. Right. This is actually lower than I expected. A lot of these lists have American Idiot top 10.
Yeah, definitely. Also, it's interesting that the only two Green Day records we have so far is American Idiot and Kerplunk. Now, we know Dookie is going to show up.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if another one is going to, because it's kind of weird to have Kerplunk and American Idiot as like the only other two.
I think it's pretty safe that the other one will not be here, but this should be here. This should be here.
Yeah. This is on the other list. It's fine. We've talked about some 41 Acnoxium, whatever. I can't even say the word. But
this should be here.
Yeah, this is like. Yes, that was on the last list as well. Totally fine with this being here.
Do we think Sticks and Stones is in the top 13?
I don't know. I have no clue. I can't tell you, dude. Sticks and Stones is the definitive Newfound Glory, and it should be in the top 10. I think so. It would be in my top 10. I think it's an incredible record. So, Sure.
Yeah, good. It has to be.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do Dookie, you
I
have
mean,
to do
if you're
Smash,
gonna do
right?
Dookie, you can do Smash. You know, Smash I always think is a little bit different. I almost never think of it as a pop punk record, but
Hmm.
it is. It's a radio punk record. You know what I mean? It's a radio punk record. It's got poppy hooks. It's got vocals, but I'm fine with that.
I
Yep.
think it's good. I think it's good
Yeah.
there.
A weird choice, but this is more acceptable than some stuff.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's definitely like, you know, Boxcar is definitely a pretty poppy song, and some of the other songs on here. But I don't know. Do you have any opinion on Jawbreaker? You're a big Lifetime fan.
I
What do
don't
you think
really
of
like.
Jawbreaker?
I don't really like Jawbreaker, honestly.
Really, I love
Yeah,
Jawbreaker.
I
So,
I think they're
uh,
okay. Like,
yeah,
I actually like Dear You, which a lot of people don't like, but it's
that's
actually
my favorite one.
that's my
That's
favorite one too.
Yeah.
But this is okay. I think it's decent, and a lot of people are influenced by Jawbreaker, and I think this is probably the one that people like most, at least that I see. So
Yeah.
top 12 though is a little much.
I mean, dude, I don't even know how to like register like where things should be on this. We'd have to go through and I'd have to like recalibrate the whole list to even like get like a cohesive top 50 out of this
Yeah.
Rolling Stones article. This is a bizarre list. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You know what?
it
This is
should.
fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, and having it all the way up here,
This
I'm
is
fine
actually
with as well.
this is respectable. So thanks
It's
to
respectable.
the unknown
Yeah.
Roan guy. Oh,
All right. What the fuck, dude? Also, like, not this over Static Age is fucking crazy. But also like top Misfits is just so you know. Think about this. So first off, the all-time low, uh, has a better pop punk record than Operation Ivy. All right, and the Misfits are in the top 10 pop punk records of all time, according to the Rolling Stones. So I was saying, gotta think about this list as like what it is, a top 50 pop punk record. So Misfits are a top 10 Walk Among Us top 10 pop punk record, and All Time Low is a better pop punk band than Opera. It's like
it's
crazy.
insane.
I feel like I'm speaking nonsense right now.
And I think that they had the amount of people they had just worked against them because like none of this makes sense.
Okay. This was also in the top 10 of the other one.
We knew this was gonna be here.
We might do a
We
first
have
time
to.
reaction to this. Yeah. So
Dude, Misery Business. I was watching yesterday on YouTube. The guy from Megadeth plays the drums for Misery Business. It's actually really funny.
really,
Yeah. He's never heard it before, and they do it like a blind listen.
Oh, that's
So he's got to like
Drumeo
learn
thing,
it as he
yeah.
goes, and he's like, "Yo, this is a good song." Misery Business is a banger. I've never heard anything else from it though.
I can't think of another song, but Misery Business is an absolute banger. So great chorus.
There you go, man. There's
Cool,
your
man.
first
That's the
instance of
first
Blink.
Is
Yeah.
there gonna be an enema?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
enema gonna show up? All right, we'll find
100%.
out. So do you think? All right, do you think Dookie and enema are gonna be the top two, 1 and 2? Would you place money?
Yeah, I would say Dookie 1, Enema 2. Like I'm
Okay,
almost 100%
That's the same as
sure.
Loudwire. So let's find. I'm more sure.
This is what we should do.
Okay.
What do you think number 3 is? Let's do a
Oh.
predictions.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually let's predict top 5.
Okay. What haven't we seen so far?
Milo Goes to College is based
Oh.
on the list. Milo Goes to College
Yeah.
should be here.
Yeah,
There's tons of
yeah.
80s and 70s stuff.
Okay.
We said Enema Dookie.
Well, how about this? Let's get to number 6, and then we
Yes,
get so we
okay.
can eliminate the next two. So let's go to 7. Okay, we're here again. We're here again in 1978, 1979.
We weren't
I mean,
predicting that.
I will say this: Generation X makes more sense than some of the choices on here. But once again, I don't consider 70s punk
All right,
pop punk necessarily.
They're throwing
All
them in
right.
here, man.
There's the Buzzcocks.
Makes
yeah.
sense.
All right.
In the
Okay,
scope,
so,
yeah.
all right. Now,
I know the top 5, dude. I'm pretty confident.
Okay. So we're going Ramones. All right. I'm going with the Ramones. Milo Goes to College. Oh man, that fourth
Okay,
one's gonna-
it's Fallout Boy Under the Cork Tree.
Oh, okay. Fall Out Boy. I'll go with that. So, Ramones, Milo Goes to College, Fall Out Boy Under the Cork Tree, Enema, and Dookie.
Yes.
So
That's it.
let's see what we got. What's next?
Oh, come no
Okay,
way, no
it's
way.
not. It is Fall Out Boy, but it
Yeah.
is not under the cork tree. That's funny though.
I mean,
Okay.
for my money,
Under
Cork
the
Tree
cork
is the
tree should
superior
be.
record. Yeah.
I gotta re-listen to both, but I'm fine. I'm fine with this. Not top 10. That's
No.
wild. But yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yes,
We
we knew
got it.
this. We knew this. Yep. Okay.
So
Uh,
Ramones, 1976 Ramones
is
is
the
next,
Ramones? Is
right?
the Ramones? Is it gonna be the Ramones, dude? Let's see here. If it's not, that's crazy.
Okay.
Oh yes,
I like this
yes,
one
yes.
better actually. But we
Yeah, Rocket
nailed
the
it at least.
Yeah, we knew that. Okay, so now
This is the
it's gonna
best
be Enema
Ramones
and
album, by the
Yeah,
way.
we gotta find a bunch of these and just start trying to guess their top 10.
Yeah, this is way more fun.
Okay, yes, that's 2. And what's number 1? What's number 1? It's Dookie. All right, all right. We did it. We did. This was the absolute fever dream. That was the Rolling Stones top 50 pop punk records. Where the Loudwire one, there was like discussion and debate to be had. This one is just like, okay, let's get through this shit. What is happening?
This could have been like a 3-hour video, like dissecting like what the heck,
Oh
like
my gosh.
like what was this boardroom like? They should have live streamed the discussion making this list. I would love to hear.
All right, it was like somebody was a 70s person. There was a 70s guy. There was like a 90s punk person. There was the 2000s punk person. There was like the new hipster guy who like wanted to put in 5 Seconds of Summer and like Joyce Manor. And I don't know what else was going on there. There was the weird choices of like Lifetime and Discount. Discount's fine, but I'm just saying they're like deep cut choices.
What are the odds that all 10 people listen to that Discount record? Zero.
Oh, zero. There's no way.
And no freaking way. I would say the odds that these 10 people who did this list, I would say the odds that 8 of them never heard Discount are way higher than 3 people listening to it. And that should tell you like maybe this doesn't belong here, but we don't know the logic. I mean, I'm sure it's good. Discount, from what I recall, is a good band, but you got 50 slots. There should be some level of like
this is complete.
Sense.
Yeah, I'll say right now the Loudwire one was a single person, and it made sense. It made sense. This one is like I don't know what it was. They're just listing records, and this list had no editing, no love and care, nobody just be like stop.
Yeah.
What's this list exactly? What are we making a list of? So it's like, oh yeah, we got 5 Seconds of Summer and the Buzzcocks and Operation Ivy. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, and All Time Low is a better pop punk band than Operation Ivy, and the Misfits are a top 10 pop punk band.
Dude, that's what you have to make the next poll on YouTube. True or false? All Time Low is a better pop punk band than Operation
versus,
Ivy.
Yeah. Who wins? All Time Low, Operation Ivy. All right, we could wrap this up there. This is fun. We'll see if we can find another one of these lists, and then also we want to react to your guys' top 10 list of some of the records as well. But you got to join the Discord, and we'll get that rolling soon. We'll make it a fun little series. We'll basically do what we do here, but to your list and judge it and give our opinions and tell you if you've got shit taste or if you're punk as fuck. So who knows? But all right. Yeah, let's end this up here, John. So,
it's an hour long. So, guys, like Elliot said, join the Discord. We're gonna react to your top 10 lists. You could also talk to us 24/7 about punk rock. We got people all over the world. There's always someone if you want to have a conversation. And if you like the video, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, all that stuff. Helps other people find the channel. And if you want to support further, there's a link down below to our limited run store. I've got tons of pop punk albums like that one, Golden Boy's new album Qualmbum, which is really good. Go check out the singles Rated R and Lately. And there's a bunch of other cool vinyl tapes, t-shirts, all sorts of cool stuff. So if you want to support the channel, you could do that down below. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.